Alright, let's test this. This is the DOSBox version of LBA2, and the problem with it is it has some audio issues, so I'm gonna do a test video to see if I can fix them. I think I found a solution. It's not the most elegant one, but I hope it works, because the music was way too loud before, and I imagined that wouldn't work too well while recording commentary. So let's see. This is the beginning of the game. This is a saved game from a few months ago. I just started a new game.
Bonjour, Bob. Salut, Twitsen. Cet orage me tape sur le système. N'arrive pas à me calmer. Et toi, n'oublie pas que tu peux changer de comportement.
Yeah, I set the voice acting to French, but the dialogue text, the text dialogue, is in English. I much prefer the French voice acting in general. I think the English one is very cheesy. Like, Twinsen's voice actor sounds like he's reading a script. He really doesn't even try, in my opinion. This game has a behavior mode. You can change your behavior and change the way that Twinsen controls. Like in sporty mode, you can run around and jump. Normal mode is kind of pointless in this game. You can just walk around and talk to people.
Je ne transporte personne sous l'orage. Je déteste ce temps. Et d'abord, pourquoi le mage météo n'intervient-il pas, hein? Au fait, auriez-vous remarqué que vous pouviez sauter tout en courant, non?
Yeah, but the thing is that you can talk to other people in any mode in this game, just by pressing W. So you don't really need to use normal mode ever. It's kind of a leftover from the first game, where you needed to be in normal mode to interact with the environment. Aggressive mode, you can punch around and kick. And yeah, some NPCs will actually react, even though you can't hurt them. They will fight back. That's pretty cool. And last, there's discrete mode. You can just sneak around. And your magic ball gets thrown in an arc, which you needed to solve some puzzles. And you can sneak past enemies as long as they don't get line of sight of you, usually. Here we have the map of the island. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty open world game for its time. It felt really big and was cool to explore when I played it as a kid. Here's a little secret here. If you check this birdhouse, there you go, it's full of stuff. This kid's a jerk. He will try to slingshot you, and it actually hurts. Always hated the kid. Let's go talk to him.
Salut, petit.
Moi, aujourd'hui, je vais pas à l'école. J'aimerais trouver le tralu et le zigouiller. Parce que si je le fais disparaître, le tralu, je deviendrai un héros et on me fera amuser.
He's actually, well, he's actually talking about this museum over here that has a lot of things based on the first game, LBA1. It's basically in honor of your quest in the first game. So there's a lot of references and cool stuff from your first adventure. But first, let's get some payback. Ah, I missed. Boop. That's what you get. Like, to be honest though, I always felt really bad as a kid. Just hitting him down, like he just starts crying. That's kind of sad, even though like he's a jerk. It still made me sad. Like just the fact that he burst out crying. Let's talk to this cow.
Salut ton Wilson. Moi j'aime bien quand il est peint. L'herbe est bien grasse et elle a un meilleur goût.
Yeah, there's actually a reason why you can talk to animals. It's because in the first game, one of the magical objects you have to get is the Book of Boo, which amongst other things allows you to talk to animals, and I guess he keeps that power even in the second game. Oh. The fact that they programmed this part is kinda random to me because it's like optional and like there's no real point to doing it, but there's a cool secret in here too. If you check those trees, you get a lot of health and magic and sometimes even money. Yeah. Money isn't like it's not really useful in this game compared to the first one, but you sometimes you need some amounts of money to progress in the story for story reasons, so it's like it's not super useful, but it's required at some points of the game. Oh yeah, another cool Easter egg that's in both LBA1 and LBA2, and I'm really curious to see like what's the story behind it. Is the flowers in the ground, if you step on them, they make a weird noise, and it's like it's never explained. I don't think it's ever been explained by the developers why they put this Easter egg. I think it's some kind of in-joke between them, but I don't know what is it. But it's like they're, I don't know, it's kind of like they're in pain as you step on them. Yeah, and it happens in both games when you step on flowers. I never really noticed this as a kid. I only read about it online and I was like, oh, so that's what the sound was. I just felt it was like a dog barking in the distance as I was going through some areas, but no, it's actually the flowers. Kinda weird. Oh yeah, this guy. He loves mushrooms. Don't take that out of context.
Salut Z. Ah, Twinsen. Avec cette pluie, j'ai trouvé plein de champignons.
Yeah, he really likes mushrooms. Oh, this guy. He's cute.
Salut.
Quelle est jolie la pharmacienne. Je ne sais plus quoi lui acheter pour la voir. Un jour, je serai réparé.
Yeah, he's in love with the pharmacist. That's pretty cute. Here's a mushroom. Oops. Well, I'm full health, so I can't actually get health as long as I'm full. Later in the game, you get an item that you can use to store extra hearts and pull them out as you need them, but like this game is not so hard that you really need to use that, to be honest. this game is much more lenient than LBA1 on many aspects. That's the pharmacist, the one that the guy before has a crush on.
Bonjour mademoiselle. Je cherche un remède pour mon dinoplaque qui s'est blessé.
Je suis navrée, mais je n'ai rien qui convienne à un dinoplaque. Si un article vous intéresse, placez-vous juste devant et faites action. Ah, mais moi je sais comment vous pourriez le soigner, votre copain.
Oh, do you now? Uh-oh. What's going on? Oh boy.
Bonjour. Pourriez-vous m'aider à soigner mon dinoplaque qui s'est blessé?
Écoutez, monsieur, je vous dirai comment soigner votre dinofly si vous me rapportez mon parapluie. Débrouillez-vous, mais rappelez-vous que, dans la vie, rien ne sert de courir.
Yeah. So this section is basically a tutorial to make you think about using the various modes, because if you try to run up at the guy who stole the umbrella, he will just run away, and like there's no way you can catch him. So what you have to do is use the discreet mode to sneak up on him. This part can actually get kinda buggy, like sometimes I remember he would notice me even though I was in discreet mode, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
Monsieur Twinsen, pourriez-vous me dire pourquoi vous me suivez?
I love this option.
Pour vous assommer.
He just runs away. That's funny. One thing I like about this section is that you don't really need to do it to progress in the game. Like if you do, you get some hints about what you're supposed to do next or where you're supposed to go, but you don't have to do it. Another thing you can do is get back the umbrella but not give it to the old lady and just keep it for yourself, and you can actually sell it later in the game. I think that's a neat detail that the developers like realized it was possible, so they were like, hey, if you're still hanging onto this quest item that you won't need anymore, you can just sell it. I think that's pretty cool. How much money do we have? That's plenty. This is the museum.
Salut.
Bonjour. Ici, monsieur, nous avons une collection consacrée au grand Twinsen et au développement de la magie sur la planète. N'hésitez pas à vous instruire. Les tickets de visite coûtent 15 cash. Ça vous tente?
Ok, j'achète.
Yeah, so basically this museum is in your honor, but this guy doesn't even recognize you, and he makes you pay admission to get in. And they actually lampshade this fact.
Bonjour, mademoiselle Blue. Dites, le guichetier est toujours aussi malin, il n'arrive toujours pas à me reconnaître. Et en plus, il me fait payer l'entrée.
Excuse-le, c'est un gentil gros beau. Tu sais, il ne fait que se donner des allures.
Je voudrais récupérer ma tunique et mon médaillon de Sandel.
Justement, tu tombes bien. La porte du haut de l'escalier est bloquée. Il faudrait trouver un moyen d'aller à l'étage pour la décoincer et libérer la cloche qui protège ta tunique.
I just love the French voice acting. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but I really like it a lot more than the English one. Here you can actually read and see about items from the first game.
C'est une roche provenant du temple de Bu.
Yeah, not very exciting in this case, but
Vue en coupe de Twinsen. 1,
Les Sundel. 2 puits de Sundel. 3 temple de Bu.
Yeah, here you have this nice cross section of the planet, and you can see how this planet actually has an interesting setup. Let's see. How do I... Like, this planet is stable between two suns, so the coldest part of the planet is actually the equator, and it's like a huge frozen mountain range. I think that's pretty cool. I really like the creativity they used to come up with this whole world. And in the first game you can actually explore all the islands, but in this one it's a little different. You can only visit 2 of them because the rest of the game takes place somewhere else, and the island have more detail and they're updated from the first game. They're actually very different, but there's only 2 of them that you can visit in this particular game. Here's the Mona Lisa, but with Twinsen. Pretty pretty funny.
C'est le livre de Bu. Il me permet de parler avec les animaux de Twinsen.
Yeah, that's the Book of Boo.
C'est le flacon dans lequel j'avais mis de l'eau claire. Tiens, la trompe de Golay.
And here's the tunic with the medallion.
Voilà le médaillon de Sundel et la tunique ancestrale.
You need to have those to store up magic, which you need to bounce your ball on the ground. If you don't have any magic, your ball will just disappear and come back to you as soon as it hits something. But if you have the tunic, you get magic, and as long as you have some magic, the ball will bounce around. And you need the tunic, otherwise you can't progress in the game, because there's a puzzle that requires you specifically to bounce your ball at a switch. So from a purely gameplay standpoint, you need the tunic. And like, the door is locked, she said, so you actually have to find another way in. It's a pretty easy puzzle. The window is wide open. So you open the door, and you open the I don't know, that protection thingy, and boom, there's the tunic.
En stockant de la magie, elle te permet désormais de lancer ta balle en lui faisant faire des...
And now we can actually bounce the magic ball. Yeah, one thing I think that, like, if they made a new game, they should change is they should like put an arrow at Winston's feet so you can see where you aim, where you're exactly aiming at, because there is no targeting enemies, and like you can reposition the camera behind you by pressing enter, but when you have to react to enemies in a 3D environment in real time, it can be difficult because you're just guessing basically. I know this game very well, so I don't really have that problem, but I've seen like newcomers coming to this game and playing it online and getting very frustrated at the combat because of this, and it's a valid complaint. So let's go. Ouch. There's a snake on the ground. You can just punch him. Boom. Dead. There's a huge ass spider. It's pretty scary, honestly. Like, I think it freaked me out as a kid, but it's not actually hard to beat. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's just scary that like you're just minding your own business and a big fat spider just comes out. It's pretty, like, it's not mentioned or anything, just there. Let's beat up some snakes. a problem we all had at least once in our lives. Having to beat up snakes. Like punching a snake to death. Yeah, you cannot fall down these ledges. So like, there's no need to be careful. You can just run as close as you can and then jump. It's far easier not to mess up jumps if you do this. So this is where we're supposed to go for the story to progress.
Monsieur Twinsen, libérez-moi vite, je suis Ralph. Vous savez, le gardien du phare. Je me suis fait attraper par le tralu et il veut me transformer en la puissante Melba.
Yeah, actually, I was very confused by this line for a long time. Like, I was like, what the heck is a Rubby Bunny Melba? Like, Rubby Bunnies are that race of anthropomorphic rabbits. They're like one of the 4 races that inhabit this planet. And I was like, what's a Rubby Bunny Melba? It's like, is that how they call like the skeleton Rubby Bunnies? I don't know. But actually I looked it up recently, and Melba is actually a French dessert. I think it's some kind of ice cream with peaches or something. So he's actually making a joke about the fact that this monster will capture him, wants to eat him and make ice cream, I guess, out of him. Yeah, punching bats. Amazing. So this is why you need the tunic, because if you don't have magic, you can't get your magic ball that far, and you can hit the switch and you can open the door. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I just like flipping switches. Ouch. Bats are always annoying. They never stand still. They always follow this path. And if they run on you, they just hit you. Well, I think this is enough for now. This was just a test anyway. And we'll see if the recording's decent enough. Goodbye.